All right, welcome everyone to this call tonight. We are really just excited to have the chance to share our hearts with you a little bit tonight about this business that we are just so grateful for. And we know that everyone is so busy, especially this time of year. And so thanks for taking the time to be on or listen to the recording after. Before we get started, we just want to open up in prayer. A lot of us on the team, are faith-based. Not everyone, but we just like to do that just to kind of center our hearts. So if that resonates with you, great. If not, that's okay too. God, I just thank you so much for this opportunity to gather together tonight and just share a little bit more about Shaklee and why we're so thankful that you led us here. I just pray that you would help us to share candidly and authentically our experiences. And for every person that's listening to this, Lord, that you would just stir in their hearts if this is something that you are calling them to do too, and that you would sort of just put aside any hesitations or fears that they might have and help them to just bravely consider and go for this opportunity. We thank you for the community here and just pray for the speakers tonight that you would give them the words to say. In your name we pray. Amen. Okay, so yeah, really just thrilled that you're here, and we are so excited to share more about this opportunity. I think because, a lot of us are still like, wow, we're at Shaklee. It's kind of like an unexpected thing that we are like, whoa, this is really awesome, and we get to share about this. But yeah, tonight what our goal is really to share our personal stories, just so you can kind of get a feel for where we're coming from, where we were before we started in network marketing, um, so that hopefully, our stories may encourage you, if it resonates with you, to do this too. I know that for me, and I'll go kind of first, um, when I started something like this, I truly had no idea what it was all about. At the time, so I'm Amber, by the way, for those of you who don't know me. At the time, I had four kids under 4 years old. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I really didn't have any like plans to start a business. This was not on my radar, but I really enjoyed wellness. And after I had my kids, I realized just how important it is to have self-care in your life in order to show up as the mom that you want to be. And so it was kind of like a happy accident that I got into network marketing because I fell in love with products. I was at a previous company before Shaklee, fell in love with those products and really the industry in a way that really opened my eyes to what all of this is about. I grew up in small town Iowa, and I will just be honest and share that a lot of people in the town that I grew up in thought things like this were pyramid schemes or just like not legit or weird or scammy or whatever. And so that was kind of the lens that I was coming to going into all of this is like, oh, one of those things, like, yeah, I know those kind of people that sell that kind of stuff. Like, I really had to kind of be humbled to learn that really all that kind of stuff that I thought was true was not true. And it was really just kind of ignorance of not knowing exactly how all of this worked. So once I was able to talk with people that were actually doing it in a way that I respected, I was like, oh, I could see myself doing it if it's different, if it's more authentic and real and just feels more natural. So, at the time I was nervous to do it because I was super busy. I didn't have a nanny. I didn't have anyone to help with the kids. I didn't have family close by. And so really looking back, I'm kind of like, that was sort of crazy that I did that. But I also felt like I needed an outlet for myself, like I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but also once I was there, I was like, wait a second, I kind of miss this professional outlet for myself where I can pour into something outside of motherhood. And so I kind of thought, gosh, this sounds kind of cool that I could have this opportunity to do that. Um, so I will say my story is that I started by like dabbling. I was not someone that necessarily went all in and was like, I'm gonna build a six-figure business. Like that was not me. I was more like, well, if I can just like share. And I remember the first day I signed up, I was like, if I could just help one other mom feel as good as I'm feeling right now, like that will be worth it because that's one life that I can change. And so that was really how I started. Well, what happens is once you do that, once you start to help one person, you're like, that was really cool. That was really fun. And then you hear their story and they're just like, thank you so much for sharing those products because they totally changed my life. And then what you realize is it's really not about you at all. It's really not this selfish thing. It's really about you sharing what's working for you, sharing products that you're passionate about, and giving other women the opportunity to fall in love with them too and to have their lives change too. So I think for me, I was scared to share on social media this. I had been sharing like mom life on social media, more about motherhood, things like that. But I was nervous to dive into sharing more about a business. Because I was scared people would think of me, and I didn't want, again, I want to be one of like those people. But what I found is that once I started to share and women started to kind of come out of the woodwork, and then I would talk to them or I would invite them behind the scenes and they would fall in love with the products, it really built up my confidence more and more because I realized again that it wasn't about me. And so whenever now I'm talking to people who are nervous to share on social media like I was, I try to remind them of that. Like, I know I get that because that's how I was too, but really it's not about us. It's really about how can we use our story to encourage others. And then when you do that, you're like, okay, well, who cares if so and so from high school like judges me? I don't really care because I'm going to help this person over here change their life, and you just like build up your confidence. But yeah, those are some of the things that I was nervous about when I started. But I will say, like, this business has totally changed our family's life. I went from being stay-at-home mom, not contributing to my family financially at all, to over the course of a few years, being able to build up full-time income. And that does not happen overnight. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes consistency. I think we'd all agree that probably the most cringe thing for us is when we see people plastering on social media, like how easy it is to build a business, because it's not always easy, but it is really fun and it's really worth the hard work when you can see the impact that you're making. So I'm so thankful to be at Shaklee too, because I feel like they really do things the right way. We're kind of in this environment in the industry where there's a lot of companies that unfortunately we're not doing things with integrity. And so it's a kind of a weird time in network marketing, but I'm really thankful for Shaklee to be that kind of just solid foundation in this space to really be able to say, okay, like, yes, some of these companies have lost it, but if you're focused on serving people, you're focused on high quality products, there is a real opportunity here, not just for a few years, but really for decades. So that's my story. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Meredith.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Hmm.
Okay, perfect. I love hearing your story, even though I've heard it multiple times, Amber. I just like resonate with so much of what you shared. And so I'll try really hard not to repeat anything that you've said and just bring a new perspective. My name's Meredith Lohmeyer. I live in East Texas. I am married to my husband, Scott. We've been married for 18 years almost. We have two children, a daughter, her name's Presley. She's about to turn 11. And then I have a little boy named Gavin. He'll be 8, both summer birthdays. So summer is always crazy times over here. But before I move on to that, I'm also a strong Christian follower of Jesus. Ultimately, because I have that strong faith, it's really just made it simple to begin this business because it's just something that I wake up every day and entrust to the Lord that He's going to bring me the people that He wants me to serve. He's going to provide. And my gosh, He has. Like, I'll just take a second and brag on God because He is so worthy of it. But that's what I hope will also help you if you have hesitation and you're a believer as well. It's just like we wake up every day and we entrust our family to the Lord and our health. You can entrust a business like this as well. But I got into community marketing, which is another word for network marketing. I think, did Shaklee trademark that? I don't know. I just love the community marketing lingo. So I got into community marketing nearly 11 years ago. when I was looking for a way to supplement my teaching income. I was an elementary teacher for 11 years, and I've always had just a really strong passion for health and fitness. And so to supplement that not so generous teaching salary, I was teaching fitness classes in the evening at a gym and doing personal training. And so it was like, very long days teaching school, going right to the gym, but it was honestly just how we were able to have some wiggle room. We really were living kind of paycheck to paycheck. My husband was starting his law enforcement career at that time, and we had a 1 year old, and she was in daycare. So, but I just really like looked at those crazy long hours and knew that that was not going to be sustainable. And, I thought a little bit about like, okay, should I just try to go full time with personal training? And if you're somebody that's into wellness, you've probably considered a lot of these avenues as well. But the thing about those other jobs that I was working was like you physically have to be there, right? And I did not have any more physical hours to give. And so that's really where community marketing came in for me. It's definitely out of my comfort zone. I am naturally very introverted. Even like speaking on calls like this still makes me so nervous. And I've been doing it for 11 years, and I've got my little bullet points right here in front of me so I don't just completely fall off the path. But it was just, I'd been praying and praying for something, and it was the answer that God just kept leading me back to. Um, and so just to kind of touch on that too, because if you are somebody who's naturally more introverted, like I am, and I know several others on our team are, you do not have to be someone who's considered an influencer or, go viral on social media or grow this huge following. I certainly don't have that. Most of us don't. But again, like I just learned to trust that God would use my efforts and that he would bring me the people that he wanted me to serve. And that just showing up to share genuinely on social media, that's really where people make connections, and that, starting conversations and all of that, that would be enough. And so I stayed with my first company for about 10 years. And then, and it was a huge blessing. I was able to leave my teaching job I would say pretty quickly, within like a 1 to 2 year period. And it really just showed me like the power of this business of community marketing, and how, for somebody who does want to kind of have all the things, as far as you want to be a present mom, you want to be able to go to your kids' events, you don't want to have to be answering to a boss all the time or using your time off at work. But yet you want to bless your family financially. This truly is an answered prayer for that. And so about 8 months ago was when I pivoted from that business and came here to Shaklee. And honestly, what I've found here is it's just so peaceful, and it's just an elevated culture, compared to where I came from. And every one person matters here, and the playing field is level when it comes to the success that you can have with your business. The products here are just absolutely incredible and in high demand. In fact, I was talking with my team earlier. I did a live video and was kind of taking them through like, oh, this is what I used this morning, and this is what I used this afternoon, and oh, I forgot about this. And it just like brought to mind how many swaps our family has been able to make, and just all the ways that we've just been like shacklifying, is that a word? Shacklifying our home. But like I said, these products are just in such high demand. People are actively looking for these non-toxic, clean products. And so that's made it just really fun, to be able to come in and share. And I'm really kind of used to, with my previous business, to having like a certain kind of client, because that was a very fitness focused business. But here I've been able to serve way more people who didn't really fit into my other businesses offerings. And that's been really just amazing, to be able to help so many more people than what I was able to. And so last little thing I want to touch on, because if you're somebody too who you wonder, like, where would I find the time to do this? Because Remember, I mentioned that when I first started, I was working two jobs and had a family and all of that. So I didn't have the extra time. But really, what kind of solidified it for me was, the truth is the average person is already spending 2 or more hours a day on social media. Maybe not like a 2 hour block of time, but spread out throughout the day. And so, like, taking that and seeing that as a smart way to monetize the time that I was already spending on social media and make it truly purposeful, that this business has done that for me. And so it really has just been about repurposing the time that I was already using social media for. And then I just knew, and I hope you'll walk away with this too, like if other regular normal moms were smart enough to figure this out and turn it into income for their families, like why not me? Why not you? So it's just been an amazing 8 months so far, partnered with Shaklee, and I've just been blessed to experience month over month growth here, and just been able to bless our family with full time income on part time hours. And so it just makes me really, really excited because for the right woman who's just willing to step into this incredible support system that we have on this team, and just put forth great effort, you're going to be able to be rewarded well. And it's just going to be such a blessing for your family. So that's all I got. I'm going to turn it over to Katie, I think.
I love it. Thank you, ladies. So good. My name's Katie Wilson. I am also a mom of four who one of those people too is like, where do you find the time? When can you do this? But I have four kids, an 11-year-old, 9-year-old, 7-year-old, and a 4-year-old, and married to my husband who is in the agriculture farm life. So all sorts of craziness this time of year for sure. And I am also in small town Iowa, where it was kind of like this very close-minded kind of view of how this whole community marketing thing works. So I had a lot of the similar like hesitations or what I thought were roadblocks as Amber. But I kind of came into this space when I was a new mom of two under two. And I also was a teacher working full time. And it was when I was on unpaid maternity leave right before the holidays that I was like, okay, like this is just not working. Like the paychecks aren't matching the diapers and the formula. And like I said, farm life was always so unpredictable. And so I was one of those where I was kind of looking for a side hustle or a way to like bring in a little extra income. That didn't mean me teaching summer school or after school programs or things. I wanted something that I was on the side more that I could be home and not sacrifice away more time from my babies. And it really wasn't to like leave teaching at any point. The true dream at that moment was I wanted to be able to go to Target. I had two little girls at the time, and I wanted to be able to go to Target and get the matching holiday pajamas for my daughters and not feel guilty about it or like I was taking away grocery money or that I had to come home and hide the bags under the bed so my husband wouldn't see the splurges that I made. I just wanted that wiggle room that I know so many moms want to be able to just make those little extra splurges or have those fun little things and not except feel the guilt from it and to be able to have that little extra fun money that was something that I was earning and doing in a little job that I loved, which was in the health space. And that was also benefiting me as a mom because we all know when you have those little babies, like it's all consuming and just to be able to have that little piece of like, okay, I'm still me here and be able to pour into yourself a little bit was kind of my driving force of some of those late nights and feedings and things. It was like, okay, I can do this. So that was where I kind of dove into the whole community marketing thing. And it was so great on the side of teaching, and I loved it. And as our family grew and things like small town areas where daycare got limited and the teaching job and all those things weren't paying the same, it was one of those where it's like, okay, I've been half in, half out, loving the little extra, but it's like, man, I really want to do this. I really love helping other moms like Amber said, when you get those messages of like, man, because you showed up or you shared this or this product you said was working for you, gosh, it did the same thing for me. Like, thank you. And I always had those hesitations. I was a teacher too, and social media was like scary. I was like, oh my gosh, what if parents see me posting or how do I approach this? But it was one of those things too where it was like, you know what? Like this is my life and this is the avenue that I want to take and I see the possibilities because of other people having success and being able to do more, it was very much a why not me. And so that social media thing wasn't a little scary, um, because I'm not good at it. Okay, if there's anybody here who thinks like this is something you have to be good at social media to do, you have to know how to use the perfect filters and know how to pretty little reels. I don't even have TikTok. Like, I don't know any of that stuff. Like, I'm going to come in here and say, like, social media should not be something that stops you from giving this a go. You don't need a huge follower account. You don't need pretty perfect anythings. You just need to be yourself. And that's what truly this business and this sharing with this company is all about, is truly sharing what is working for you, what you are loving for your family, and what you think can help impact somebody else's life. And that was just how I've authentically showed up in the messy, in the mom life, in the chaos of toddlers and kids and all the things. And that's truly what makes this special, is it for to be on your terms and doing it how it works best into your life. And so, again, like I said, the social media thing, if that is something that you're like, ooh, like just kind of go in it with an open mind and not being afraid to like be yourself and try and fail and not worry about what the follower count or the post like is. It's just making those connections with people and having a way. The people that I've connected with and the moms are ones that I never would have the opportunity to meet in person. But when you can make those relationships behind the scenes because of a post or a story or something, like that's what it's truly been about. And have just been loving being able to do that. And it's those authentic conversations that come with this that makes this successful, where you're like, being able to be salesy. I truly want you to think of it as, I've heard some different analogies, but like if you found a pair of leggings that you loved and made your booty look so good and nipped and tucked and put all the things in the right places, you would go to your friends and your family and be like, you need these. All right. Every person does. And that's how I truly feel about these products, is what the way they're changing, making me feel, whether it's the nutritionals or it's the, man, I've swapped these different vitamins for my kids, or the laundry soaps that don't give my sensitive skin daughter any reactions anymore. Like just truly sharing things like, this is making an impact in my family. And if it can make a difference for yours, I want to tell you about it too, right? And so, really looking at it from the perspective of, you are just sharing what you are loving, what's working, and hey, I think this could be for you too. And having the space of Shaklee. So, I was more in the health fitness box before, with my previous company as well. And what drew me to Shaklee so much was being able to get out of that box, being able to, yes, be in this passion of wellness space, but really to open up the doors and be able to appeal to ages and stages and different areas of life for anybody. And that really made me see this as such a more longevity based like business, where it's something like, this is going to grow with me. This is not going to phase out when I'm not losing baby weight anymore or like focused on that season of life. Like I see this as changing with me. And I think we'd all be admit a little bit in the last few years where it's like our eyes have been open to this, like the non-toxic, cleaner living. And I was not really diving into that. I wanted to. And now that I have learned so much, and it's like, wow, know better, do better, and being able to have this company, these products, this trusted science, clinical studies, all of this that I can share with other women who, like me, who are, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to do this. I want to do better. It's like, you can trust this space. It's a one-stop shop, and to be able to point others in the direction that this could help make an impact has just, it's just really given me such hope, for the future in the short time that I have been here. And then I also want to touch on the point too, where maybe you see a me or a Meredith or whoever coming in and being like, well, you have experience in this. I have women on my team who have come in who have really had no quote unquote success with other companies or really hadn't done this before. And they're coming in brand new and they are winning here. They are helping people. They are making their first sales. They are getting messages from others about the difference they are making. They are feeling amazing in their skin, making a domino effect of like, oh my gosh, my husband is doing this with me now, or trying this. I haven't been able to help my mom or my dad with different things. Like just being able to pay that forward to families and them winning right out the gates just gives me such excitement and so much joy to see other people, not just people who maybe like have done this before, but people brand new coming in out of the gates and seeing wins, and not only like that income potential, but also just bettering their own health and wellness in the process. So I can't say enough good things about this. And just like I said, how pleasantly surprised I am with how peaceful and fun and exciting. And it all, again, it's the people you get to do that with, and a lot of the people that you see sharing here make all the difference. But like I said, the hope and the excitement for what's to come and being with a company who has that stability, who's been around a long time, even though I had never heard of it, who's been around a long time and just has such a vision for the future and being innovative and new products and just really wanting to help people. All right, Kara, take it away.
I'm going to unmute myself and I'm actually going to try a new tactic because while I am not necessarily an introvert, I do get really nervous. So I'm covering my face up and all of yours. Um, so I hopefully will keep this short-winded, but I echo a lot of the sentiments and a lot of things that Katie and Meredith said. But I guess I'll start off with who I am. My name is Kara. I am from Cincinnati, Ohio, although a native to the Midwest, Minnesota, was home growing up. And I have four children, 11, 9, almost 7, and 2. When there's 4, there's a lot. And I work full time as an assistant nurse manager, which is a new position for me as of October. Previous to that, I'd always been part time since having kids as a labor and delivery nurse. And I started into community marketing, this field about 9 years ago when I had 2 under 2, just like Katie. I was good friends with Amber, and I had always seen, others do that, but it definitely wasn't for me. There was always those fears and hesitations that came with it. More judgment. We had some acquaintances that had gone before us and just really wrecked relationships, and that was always a huge fear in how to do it in a way that wasn't going to do that. I wanted to serve, but I didn't want to damage any relationships. And I wanted to make that difference because of how good I had felt. But that personal belief, but also the hesitation for others, but then the personal belief that I could actually do it and the confidence to do that. Like you want to, but you're like, ugh, not only what are they going to think, but I'm putting myself out there, and it can be pretty vulnerable at times if you're, sharing from the heart. And I think that was one of the things that stopped me initially. But also that opportunity was there. And when you see that opportunity and you see that opportunity to make a difference in your family's lives, you want that. Like everyone before me has said, with little kids at home, you want to be able to maybe potentially earn a little bit more income. I'm not afraid to say that, yeah, income was a big factor for me, and to be able to bring in that extra with not being away from my kids. Nursing hours are long, and yeah, you can pick up extra hours, and but you're capped out, and the pay is, depending on where you are, not as great as some may make it out to seem. Um, but it's hard to get to where you want to be in the nursing world, financially and income wise. So that extra income was always something that drove me to be able to do the extras with my family, to shop, to travel, to do home projects, all of that stuff. When I made the transition, it was previous to taking on the job that I'm in now, but definitely still nervous, just to kind of rebuild again. But when you hear all that there is at Shaklee, um, the intrigue factor was high for me. It kind of checked all of the boxes of the areas of my life that I was passionate about. It had health and wellness, it had skincare, it had stuff for my home, it had makeup. Like it literally ticked off all of the boxes for me. So that was huge. And then also, because it checked all those boxes, it was easy to weave it into my day-to-day life. Just like Katie said, kind of with the leggings. Um, I talk about makeup brands or products that I use at my house constantly with people. So it's really easy for me, and I am huge in face-to-face situations. I like social media, but I don't generally make a lot of connections on there, and it takes a lot longer versus if I'm with somebody in person, I feel like I mean, I think everybody's my best friend. Um, I'm like, oh, I talked to them for 10 minutes. We're definitely besties now. I'm like a little 6-year-old when it comes to that. So for me, the face-to-face is huge. And I think it's something that's so easy to talk to. Like I'm the person that will walk up to somebody at Costco and be like, "Oh my gosh, there's so many vitamins to choose from. How do you pick?" And then they're like, "Oh my gosh, I know, I don't know what to do." I'm like, "Oh, well, here, I have a solution for you." So it's easy things like that that make this part exciting for me at least. I know some people are like, "I don't want to talk to somebody at Costco." Um, but it's definitely an area that I just feel like face-to-face part and then being able like I did a health fair recently and then it's not um because you have that option to do face-to-face and because sales are so easy. I did want to touch on this and I'll circle back around, but here I've been able to have a lot more success than I had previously because you don't have to build a team. You absolutely can. And that's where the big, like, not big, I don't want to say big because I feel like I'm earning a significant amount of income that I would not otherwise be earning. But you don't have to build a team to do that. Um, and I think that's really important for a lot of people because the team part of it scares a lot of people. In that same breath, I'll also say that while it scared me initially, the longer I'm here, it scares me less and less because I know how possible it is to be successful. And I think I was scared because previously it was hard to bring people in because it was hard to get people to do work. But here it's not work, it's not hard. It just happens. Literally, there is not a person in your life that doesn't need something here. Um, and people will just come and naturally ask because you talk about it. Um, you know, my coworkers will be like, "Oh yeah, you mentioned a laundry detergent. What was that?" And then they go and buy like a whole cleaning kit. Like, so it's just I can't say enough good things about how easy it is to be here because you are basically working at a non-toxic target. I don't know like how else to describe that, but that's kind of what it feels like. We don't have organic clothing yet, but maybe we can talk to Roger about that. Um, so I think that's my end, but I am thrilled to be here and I wouldn't change anything I've done or like it's an easy place to be.
Oh, I
And
love it, Sarah. Non-toxic target. I love it. I think I'm gonna run with that now because it is so true. I mean, I go to Target now and I like don't shop in half the store because I buy it all at Shaklee. I'm like, this is actually really great. So it's such a great analogy. I love that. So I hope that you enjoyed hearing, our stories just kind of candidly, what we've experienced so far. It really has just been the most unexpected blessing to discover Shackley. And yeah, I think it was, like most of us were like, Katie was like, I don't even know what Shackley was. And I think that's where all of us were too. We're like, Shackley, like, where's this been? And it's because it's been around for like 69 years. And when you think about the people that started there, they're older now, and we all know that a lot of times those people are not as quick to jump on social media, which is where we're all getting our information these days. So when you talk to people and you might mention Shackley, even if they don't know about it, oftentimes they'll say, "Oh, my mom sold it," or "My grandma sold it," or whatever. So it's really kind of cool to make those connections too. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of all we have to share with you tonight. Just a few details, like if you're like, okay, this sounds like it's up my alley. It sounds like something that I want to do. It's very, very simple to get enrolled as an ambassador. And so the cost to get enrolled is $50. And that covers your business kit. And really, that's everything you need to get going. So it's going to have your website, all kinds of tools to help you get going. And there are some enrollment packages that waive the $50 fee, or it's kind of like included with the bundle. So just reach out to whoever invited you to this and they can walk you through those details. But besides that, there's no like there's nothing that you have to purchase necessarily monthly. You can if you want to, but it's all optional. And so we love that too because you're not forced to like have to be on auto ship of a certain product or anything like that. It's really whatever you use as a family, which I will say though, like the longer you're here, you do like use more and more because you realize your family's actually saving money because you're not going to Target and throwing random crap into your cart, like you're much more focused on what you actually need and our products are actually more affordable. Yeah, you will want to purchase all the things. It's so true. We have to like hold ourselves back all the time. But anyway, I hope that this kind of gave you a glimpse into it as far as earning too. So yeah, we have like Kara mentioned the retail side where you can sell the products and then you earn a commission on those products. And that's between a 10 to 40% commission, depending on kind of, where you're at. And so the person who invited you can walk you through more details of the compensation plan. But what we love about this plan is that it's relevant so that if you're someone that you do not want to build the team or you're not sure if you want to, you can just start selling products. And we have people that are earning six figures a year selling products without even having a team. Again, it takes hard work, doesn't happen overnight, but it is totally doable and possible because they've just recognized that people sometimes they want a team, sometimes they want to be able to just share the products. And so they want to reward people who share more products. And then the other side is if you want to build a team, you can have a team under you and help them to be productive. It's not a pyramid scheme because it's not like you sign everyone up and then you just randomly make money from them. Like you have to help them to be productive. But then it's kind of like, I like the analogy of like a sales manager. So you kind of earn on the productivity of your team as you get going. But I think you'll be blown away if you look at what's possible compensation plan wise. I know when I first got into this, I kind of thought, oh, people probably make just a couple $100 here or there. Even for people that work very part-time right now on our team, like if they work hard consistently, but it's part-time hours, it's around $1,000 a month to start, and then it can kind of go up from there. So that's something to just kind of, keep in mind. But yeah, we're so excited to share, just to have the chance to share more with you. And if there's any other questions that you have after this, don't hesitate to reach out to the person that invited you. But we would love to have you on our team. We have all kinds of support and training and community and events to really help you feel like you're part of a community. You're not going to be doing this alone. We're going to help you every step of the way and make sure you have exactly what you need to have success. So, okay, thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you later. Bye, everyone.